We're also going to need a 12-inch cake drum. 12 is the size I prefer when I'm using a 7 or an 8-inch base cake. These drums are from a company called Cake Bon. They're one of my favorites, and I'm going to show you why. These drums are what we call wrapped. So that means the seam is here on the bottom. It's not up on the top side. Now, it doesn't make for very pretty sides. I'm going to recommend you use a ribbon to kind of cover this unevenness. What it does help with is grease bleed. If you've got a seam right here, it's very easy to accidentally get grease or water under that seam, and it will discolor your board. When you've got a wrapped board, you don't have to worry about grease bleed. So Cake Bon's my favorite company for these. We're going to need a turntable. Here I just have a nice sturdy metal. We've got a fondant smoother, basic paintbrush, got an X-Acto knife with blades. Okay, new blades are really important when you're working with fondant. Change these out as often as you need to. This mat, we're going to use this one right here, and I'll show you, but this is what we're going to use to hide the back seam. Really makes the cakes look more professional and have a great overall finish. I've got an acetate smoother. This one's a little bit thicker. You can see it bends, but not too easy. We're going to use this to push air bubbles out when we do our fondant. We've got a wallpaper smoother. This actually came from Home Depot. And I'm going to tell you, it's okay to use tools that aren't specifically made for food if they are one piece and washable. So if this was a two-piece tool, say with a metal and then a wooden handle, that would not be okay for food. They're two pieces. It's easy for things to get stuck in. It's not going to be easy for you to clean. So one piece plastic, I can spray this down with my sanitizer. I can keep it nice and clean. We've got cornstarch. I prefer to roll out in cornstarch as opposed to powdered sugar. The cornstarch is not going to add any sweetness to the fondant. Got just a cup we're going to use for water. I've got two smoothers. I prefer the long handle. Of course, if you prefer the smaller handle, that's just fine. We're going to use one for our buttercream, and we're going to use one for our ganache. I've got a long serrated bread knife. This is what I'm going to use to tort my 3 layers into 6. Now, torting is really up to you and what you prefer. You can keep the 3 layers together if that's what you like. I think torting leads to a much more professional finish when your client cuts the cake. We've got our satin ice white fondant. Now, since I am using a 7-inch cake today, I have 7-inch boards right here. And you're going to see I've got 3. So this is a coated cake board. This is from Wilton with the cardboard on the back and the coating on one side. I have 2 of those. And I'm going to sandwich these between a foam core circle. Now, the foam core is really sturdy. And you're going to find once you put your fondant cake together, we're going to sandwich it just like this so we don't have any cardboard showing, and so that we have sandwiched the foam core in between 2 food-safe materials. You're going to find once you put your ganache and fondant cake together, the larger these cakes go, the heavier they can get. The peace of mind that this gives me as far as not bending is so great. These little boards on their own are, look at that, they're just flimsy. I do not like that. So 2 food-safe boards sandwiched between 1 foam core board. And I'm not going to put anything with the cardboard out because it will get wet and it will diminish the structure and strength. So we're going to go just like this. Food safe, always touching food. And again, we're just doing this for strength and integrity. You can really see me pushing on this. It's going to be great. The last thing I want to talk about is our Profroster. So Profroster is what I'm going to use when I cover my cakes in ganache. It's how I'm going to get them nice and smooth. It's how I'm going to get this fabulous angle right here, sharp corners and edges, and I'm going to get it really easily with this tool. Now, I have the Profroster. I've also ordered the knockoff from Amazon. And I'm going to tell you that while they look very, very similar, they don't behave the same way. So you can see when I've got my Profroster together, this is a firm grip right here. Nothing's wiggling, nothing's moving. I can't say the same for this. Do you see how easy I'm able to twist this? That's going to mess up my corner. It's going to mess up my edge. It's just not the same quality. It does not glide around the same that my Profroster glides around. I know it seems silly. I am definitely one of those people that is all about the cheaper alternative at the grocery store, the store brand. I don't recommend this. I recommend you go on Profroster's website. They only sell on their website. Pick up one of these. You will use it constantly, all the time, and it's worth every penny. So now let's move on to lesson 2, where we're going to start talking about torting and filling our cake.